Hello, 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 everyone. It's me, Ruby Sinclair, and I am back this week with Musicals Week for our Ruby Sinclair Strictly review. My darlings, another week. Can you believe it? I feel I say that every week. I really, really do. Oh, this wig is going to do my head in. It'll be fine. Darlings, we are ready for Musicals Week. I've got my laptop set up. I hope you've had a fabulous week and we are ready to watch some dances. I am sure this is going to be a fabulous episode. I mean, let's go straight off the bat. I saw in the news Cynthia Erivo is covering for Craig Revel-Horwood this week as a judge. Cynthia is an absolute legend in the musical theatre world. I cannot wait to see how she enjoys the show. And obviously with that musical theatre background, she is a performer, she is a singer, amazing singer. She can dance. I'm really excited to watch her just as much as I am to watch everyone else, to be honest with you. So, without further ado, we're going to get started with this week, week 9 of Ruby Sinclair's Strictly Review. Well, what a fabulous opening routine by our wonderful professionals. Love seeing OT in the spotlight as well. She looked fabulous. I really love that outfit. I might get one of them myself. Cabaret is a perfect way to start the show. What a wonderful musical. Oh, it makes me want to sing. I probably shouldn't. It's probably for the best. Right then, let's get on with the show. First up, we have got AJ and Kai. Woo, AJ and Kai, they are for sure back in the competition. Doesn't it just show you? I feel I'm going to be repeating myself so much if I already haven't already. Depending on these dances, depends on if these couples are having a good or a bad week. Now, AJ and Kai looked absolutely perfect to me dancing that waltz. You know, I've mentioned it before, whenever we're doing step 1, 2 and 3, we always want to make sure that that foot is closed. I saw that with AJ every single time. What a pleasure to watch. She looked beautiful. He also looked beautiful, as always, of course. And the song as well was lovely. Edelweiss is such a classic waltz song as well. It was lovely, like Shirley mentioned, that we've got that ballroom and Latin and that musical theatre fusion straight off the bat in the beginning of the episode. What a lovely way to start. Oh, this is going to be a fun night. Here we go. AJ and Kai, your waltz was beautiful. Well done. Next up with a jive is Reese and Nancy. Ooh. That was fun. We can tell that Reese has got all the performance. I wish we could sprinkle some more of that performance over some of the other competitors as well. That would be lovely. That being said, it is, like the judges said, it is a little wild sometimes, and it's unfortunate that he did end up a little bit ahead of the music. It must have been quite difficult for Nancy as a professional to kind of make sure that she was almost hanging back a little bit. I felt that she was really watching him and seeing what he was doing, so then she can kind of copy and kind of fix, making them look more of a couple as opposed to him making it look like he was doing it completely wrong too fast. That being said, the routine was fun. I did find myself a little bit bored after, like halfway through. Did anyone else was just a bit like, okay, this is cute. Like, I think once we saw the kicks, he came out kicking straight away. We then didn't really have anywhere else to go within the routine. Now, I reckon he'll be fine. It's so difficult. I cannot stress this enough. Depending on the dances, depends on how they do. Now, was it the worst jive we've seen this season? Absolutely not. Was it the best? No. And it will never beat my Jill Halfpenny that did it with Darren Bennett years and years ago. She is the jive queen for sure. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely look it up on YouTube. But Reese and Nancy with your jive this week, it was all right. It was okay. I'm gonna make it anyway. Maybe it's Musicals Week or just singing. Reese and Nancy, not bad at all. Your jive, I hope we shall see you next week. Well done. Next up with their couple's choice this week is Tom and Amy. That was emotional for sure. Those two did a really good job. I have to say it again, these couples' choices routines, they're hard. They don't always work. Sometimes it's too internal and we want it. They're choosing these songs for a reason, and they're doing these routines for a reason because they want to. And the judges were absolutely right. Tom was just withheld the whole time. Anton absolutely hit it on the head, and I was annoyed because I was going to say it, but we were almost one step ahead of what he was going to do because it was so over rehearsed. That way, each time, every rehearsal he would have done, thinking more and more about where his body's going to be, the emotion is lost. Each time we strip that emotion away. And unfortunately, he came to do the performance and it just wasn't there. I just found it all a little boring. And not boring. I'll be honest, I was just watching Amy. I thought Amy did a really, really good job. As a trained ballroom and Latin dancer, I know that Amy doesn't really have too much experience in any other styles. I thought she was really, really pushed this week, and I thought she did a really good job. Just going to put that out there. But Tom, yeah, he was a great partner for her, I guess. But I just found myself watching Amy the whole time, and it's interesting because this was a touching routine for Tom as opposed to Amy, but she managed to get that emotion and really go for it for me. Biased, maybe. Tom and Amy, your couple's choice was all right. He might be in trouble this week. We'll see. Next up this week with a quick step is Rose and Giovanni. Rose for me is going to be my tip to win. She is not having a bad dance, and this is great that we're getting week after week excellent dancing. Yes, there was a little mistake, but that's fine. It's fine. She doesn't need to get 40 every week. She's already got one so far, so she's lucky that way. Characterization was lovely. The timing was really nice. A lot of what she was doing was a mix of simple and also quite difficult as well, which was really nice to see. There was a couple of parts where she was doing 1 and 2, shimmying right around the dance floor, right on that left-hand side. It was so, so lovely. She has managed as well to really master that ballroom hold, and her head is up and out. She has a beautiful neck and head when she's in her promenade position. Promenade position is when both bodies, the leader and the follower, are both facing outwards, so your hips won't be touching, just on one side they're touching, not on both that they should be when they're performing. And she was up and out over the rainbow. I've mentioned that before. Up and over the rainbow. And she has got that nailed. See, these are all the things that happen. Once you have mastered them in one dance, you're going to master them in all of your ballroom dances. And she did an excellent job. Rose and Giovanni, as always, my darlings, well done. This time with the Viennese waltz is John and Johannes. Fantastic routine. I am so chuffed that these boys are doing well. I really, really am. And the fact that we do get to see that switch of the leader and the follower as well. Yes, Shirley was right. It seems like John is getting a bit more of a grasp of the leading, which, I mean, he does look very, very confident. His head was up and out when it was to the left. It looked really nice when he was leading. Now, when he was following, he did look a little scared. And it is hard, don't get me wrong. Now, we shouldn't judge him differently because he is going from that leader and follower. But yes, the leader is stronger. I thought, personally for me, I thought the footwork wasn't that bad at all. I did see him going forward on a heel each time. There was a couple of moments during the routine that I couldn't see their footwork. Interesting, maybe trickery for the camera. Who knows whether that was on purpose or not. But I wasn't able to see fully when they were doing their natural turns. I wasn't able to fully see what John's footwork was doing anyway. So he got away with that one for me. Now, the routine was lovely. It's so nice to see them do some traditional music as well with these dances. We forget quite a lot of the time in the ballroom world that actually a lot of the music is musical theatre music. I never knew. A lot of the music that I know and love from when I was a kid, when I was learning ballroom and Latin, I didn't know that it was musical theatre music. There's some cabaret stuff. Don't Tell Mama is a lovely quick step. There's some lovely cha-chas out there that I had no idea that were musical theatre. This is another one as well. They did a really good job. It is a difficult dance as well. Let's not forget all of that spinning as well. He does spin very well, actually. I thought at the end when he was doing his chaîné turns, which are just continuous turns that he does solo, he did them really, really nicely. He's definitely danced before. He must have done, surely. Is there any jury out on that yet? Do we know about that yet? I don't know. He must have done. John and Johannes, well done, boys. Fingers crossed I see you next week. I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. Well done. We have another couple's choice routine. We've got Tilly and Nikita. That really, really packed a punch. Wow, wow, wow. What a great routine. Tilly, God love her. She has not really had the best couple of weeks, and she's been able to have that couple's choice, which I think for the first time in this season has really, really, really saved someone, and they really needed it. It's the perfect time. What a lovely, lovely routine. I also do think as well, similarly to Shirley, that she did a really pretty good routine, almost better than Nikita. I guess that's the thing is with these couples' choices, they're not necessarily doing ballroom and Latin dancing. Like I mentioned earlier in Amy and Tom's routine, is that sometimes these professionals are being asked to do styles that they haven't necessarily had much experience in before, if anything at all. And Tilly was right up there with Nikita. The energy level was spot on as well. And spoiler alert, she also got a 40. We have got a fabulous season. Another 40. That's, well, I mean, that really does cement Tilly to the next round. Surely she's going to get through to next week. I mean, she can't be in the bottom then. So, God love them. They have pulled it out of the bag. Tilly and Nikita with your couple's choice. It was great. Well done. Now it's Charleston time. We have got Dan and Nadia. Didn't they do a cracking job? A wonderful way to end the night. And I've got to say, it's lovely to see my Nadia out there as well. And what a fabulous dress she had on too. Now, Cynthia mentioned it. Now this time, I take it back what I said last time about Tilly and Nikita being quite even. Nadia was really out dancing Dan. It's quite hard when they're in this side-by-side dancing so much. It's quite difficult for you to not watch the pro, especially when they're loving it and really going for it too. Now, that being said, Dan did really hold his own though, to be fair, and the lifts were nice and strong too. He wasn't wobbling. I thought that flip one that they did, she got so much height in that one. It's funny sometimes because they show you in the rehearsal when they're probably first started doing it and they're making a few mistakes and all a bit, oh, I'm not sure how this is going to go, and then they go bam on the night. I love it. Dan, it was not a bad routine at all. Hey, I wouldn't want to call it. For me, I don't know whether we've got maybe Reese and maybe Dan that are in a little bit of trouble this week. Let me try and think. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Maybe Tom didn't have that great of a week either. So on that leaderboard then, we have got Tilly and Nikita with that fabulous 40. Didn't they do well? We've got AJ and Kai next. They did pretty well, to be fair. I would have maybe marked them a little lower. Interesting. Rose and Giovanni next, and then Reese and Nancy. Now, I thought Reese and Nancy's jive was pretty not great. Wasn't his best at all. Definitely John and Johannes was far better. It's interesting. This is probably the lowest that we've seen John and Johannes as well. Interesting. Then next we've got Tom and Amy. Need to put my eyes in. Tom and Amy, Dan and Nadia down at the bottom. Oh, they both got 31. There we go. Okay. So, we'll see how this one goes. I'm now going to click right onto that results show. We are going to see our professionals routine as well. We're in how lovely. We've got 2 this week. We're in store for a treat. We're in treat for a store. In store for a treat. Can't think. Not sure. We have a treat in store. There we go. 2 routines in 1 week from our professionals. So let's get on to that results show. What a cracking routine from our pros. A wonderful testament to Wicked, that show that's going to be coming out soon. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, if you haven't seen, they're playing the leads. Alphabet and Glinda. It's going to be fabulous. And it was wonderful. I've got to say a massive shout out to Katia. I thought she did an excellent job in that as well. And Luba, of course, playing the role of Alphabet. Another routine where we don't see much, if any, Ballroom in Latin. Just going to put it out there. It is a Ballroom in Latin show. Controversial yet brave. Now, let's find out who is going to be in that bottom 2 this week. Week 9, musicals, Strictly Come Dancing. Let's find out. So, there we have it. We have just found out that Reese and Nancy and Tom and Amy are our bottom 2 for the week. Well, I mean, according to the judges' scores, Reese was nowhere near the bottom, which is interesting. There was a couple of people that were lower than him. And Tom and Amy, unfortunately, yes, they didn't have a good week at all. Now, Dan and Nadia did very well. Oh, damn it. There we go. There we go. Still a black. A claw with a Dan and Nadia, they were really lucky not to be in that bottom as well, I've got to say. Now, we'll see how this turns out, but we have literally got 2 ends of the sword here. We have got a full-on jive routine and then a very emotional couple's choice routine. It will be interesting to see how these 2 go. Let's watch. Oh, this fringe is doing my head in. Just cut it off. There we go, that's better. There we have it. Tom and Amy are our next couple out of week 9 of Strictly. Oh, what a shame the poor son. The week that meant the most to him. Oh no. I mean, unfortunately, Reese did just have that edge. I will say though, having a dance like the jive over something like a couple's choice that's very personal, internal, performance that he's got going on. It's so hard to judge those 2, but Reese did really give it some welly. He did not want to go anywhere. What a difference for him, though, being first last week, right down into that bottom 2. Just shows you it's the luck of these dances. So guys, thank you so much for joining me, Ruby Sinclair, for Ruby Sinclair's Strictly Review. I shall see you next week. Can you believe it? Week 10. I'm running out of wigs, I tell you. Week 10 of Strictly Come Dancing 2021. I hope you have a fabulous week and I shall see you next week. Catch you later. Bye-bye. I've had enough of this.